Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrauku here, and I hope you're all doing great. Today, in this video, I want you guys to actually leave your feedback if you feel comfortable in doing so, but leave it down in the comment section below because I'm very interested to see how everyone feels. I've seen some Reddit posts, so I kind of know how they feel. I've seen some Facebook posts, so I get an idea how those audiences feel. But YouTube has some different people, of course. So I want to see how you guys feel. Do you think Raid is doing too much too soon? As in, do you feel like you're getting overwhelmed with how many things? So we had clan versus clan into the Brogni fusion. The Brogni fusion, we just got released or just got announced that there's gonna be a new fusion May 11th, which I'm gonna go over. That's gonna be the main source of this video. It's talking about this and then going over some other things, kind of pros and cons to all this stuff. But what do you guys think? Do you feel overwhelmed or how do you feel about all of this? So first off, I want to jump in and talk about the new Fusion Champion. So the new Fusion Champion looks pretty awesome. So let me go through here real quick and see if I can find a picture of him from the content creator chat. So this is what the new Fusion is going to look like. It's a pretty cool looking dude. Raid never really lets people down with their aesthetics. Their aesthetics look pretty good. I got to admit that. But now looking at his skills. So A1, Vile Arrows. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Transfers a random debuff from this champion to the target if the target is under a Hex debuff. Now, Thea does place Hex debuffs, and right now she doesn't really have anybody to work with. Thea is a reward from the Doom Tower. She's a Knight Revenant legendary champion who's basically just the Vault Guardian right now. She's not really being used anywhere, but with this new legendary, she may see some uses. So if you have Thea, that's going to increase your likelihood you're actually going to do the fusion. Not very many people do have Thea though. So A2 attacks all enemies, places an extra hit on enemies under Hex debuffs, will ignore 25% of each target's defense if there are 4 or more enemies under Hex debuffs. So far, looks like pretty interesting kit, but nothing really stands out like, oh wow, this is going to be amazing. Granted, I haven't tested this champion or anything like that, and more information will come out when he's actually released. But his A3 ability, and it's a cooldown of 4 turns on the A2. Maybe you'll book down to less, who knows. A3 places a 50% increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's pretty cool. Increased accuracy is always good. Good to have a more variety of increased accuracy champions. Then places a Hex debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So this doesn't have a percentage chance, at least it's not showing one right now. We may see a percentage chance when this champion is actually released, or it may just be a places, which means you just need to do the accuracy check. So if you have more accuracy than the enemy has resistance, you'll place the debuff, assuming you don't have the typical 3% chance to resist, which is just with all champions. And then he also places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns and fills this champion's turn meter by 50%. So nothing to complain about there. A4 passive ability decreases the speed of enemies under Hex debuffs by 5% and decreases the resistance of those enemies by 10%. That's pretty cool. We don't see a lot of resistance debuffs, which this means if you brought him into the arena, if nothing else, he'd be very good for lowering the enemy's accuracy. Well, increasing your accuracy, making it easier to apply debuffs to the enemy, because he's going to increase all of your allies' accuracy, and then he's going to decrease the enemy's resistance. Like if the resistance meta wasn't already dead in Platinum Arena, this is going to move towards killing it even more, even just him by himself. So that's pretty cool how they have him set up. Also increases the damage enemies under Hex debuffs receive by 10% and decreases the value of heals they receive by 30%. These effects do not stack if there are multiple Huntsmans on a team. Rule the Huntsman. Not for sure if it's how you pronounce his name or not. Now, looking at his skills, they look pretty good. I think he's going to be a good champion, a solid legendary, but just looking at these skills, not going off any of the multipliers, none of the booking information, nothing else, just strictly the text. He's not going to be a Rhodos. He's not going to be a Tormund. So if you do end up missing this guy, it's not going to be the end of the world. Fortunately, this next one will be a Fragment Fusion event. So it's just going to be in here. You earn the fragments. You get the champion eventually. Hopefully that's not as strict. And hopefully you have some wiggle room where you can earn extra and where you can maybe cut back and relax. So all of this comes down to the main thing. We'll get into talking about that champion later on the road. I don't want to give my solid opinion yet about him until I can see him more in use. But ultimately what I want to talk about is this post has gone very popular on Reddit. So let's go back to this other page. I need a break for real. Bliss 16, me building new Brogni. Larium announcing new Fragment Fusion. It is a pretty accurate meme for real. However, Reddit seems to really relate. It's the top post within the last 24 hours, I believe, is what I put it set to. Today, yeah, the top post. Okay, so there's a lot of people who are relating to this. And I wanted to see what you guys think. do you think Raid is doing too much? Because with this fusion, which is coming up May 11th, now if you look at the calendar, which I don't know if I can actually show it right here. Yeah, we can. So if you look at the calendar, we have basically right now the 30th. We have next week off essentially. And then the 11th, which will be the Tuesday after that, we will be back into doing another fusion potentially. Now, Raid had mentioned that the clan versus clan tournaments will be about every 2 weeks. That would put it, as far as I know, on the 4th. Now, we haven't had any announcements that this is for sure when the clan versus clan is going to start. But if that's the case, we basically are going from clan versus clan here for a few days into fusion, which started somewhere around that point. May have started before. I'm not 100% sure for Brogni. We got the clan versus clan into another clan versus clan down here. Fusions in between. A lot of stuff to do in Raid. One comment specifically that I've been seeing on my Twitch stream, which is twitch.tv/Tyrauku. And if you're watching this video, I'm probably going to be live in the next hour or so if you're watching this soon after release. So click the link down below. But I've been seeing a lot of comments, people saying that they're bored. So they fused Brogni. They've done the clan versus clan stuff. So now they're like, what do I do? So we had so much time in the game where it was a fusion now, and then we waited for what felt like a few months, and then another fusion came around. The fusions were much more spread out. You never really knew when you were going to get one. You still had the tournaments and the events going on all the time. So people weren't as worried about actually completing them, wasn't as worried about competing in them necessarily. But now with the boosted incentive to do it, I feel like players are more thinking that they have to do it. And I definitely understand that. I mean, because it does feel like you have to do the tournaments and you have to do the events. But before we were doing them without the legendary reward. So though this system may make you feel in a way that you have to complete everything, that you have to do it, or else you're just going to be behind in the game, which system is better? Is the system better where the tournaments and the events didn't have those potential legendaries as the reward, the potential fragments and things like that? Or were they better when everything was more spread out? You didn't get those essentially guaranteed legendaries if you could complete the event, but instead you just got the milestone rewards. I'm pretty sure, not milestone rewards, talking about clan versus clan, sorry, these side rewards, which I guess are not actually milestone rewards, but you got these side rewards. I think they've been relatively the same, maybe slightly different, but over time they've been basically not great. They've been decent, especially with the champion training, champion chase, summon rushes. Those all been good. This one, but what do you guys think? I want to ask you your opinion on how you feel. How do you feel about this new champion? I don't completely mind the idea of the more frequent fusions. However, the clan versus clan, I think, really needs to be restructured so it doesn't feel like you have to spend the equivalent to a part-time job inside the game. And for people who do make money from playing the game, that makes sense. So content creators, that's not a huge deal. But looking at it from the perspective of somebody who wasn't making money from the game, had the incentive to play the game just for the fun of it, it doesn't seem as appealing, especially having to spend 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day just to feed your champion. So we've already talked about the clan versus clan stuff before. I'm hoping they end up restructuring that. But ultimately, are these new, more frequent events a good thing for the game, or are they not so good? And how would you like that to be different? I mean, like I said, now at least we're working towards something and we have something to work on all the time. But it does feel like you kind of want to build your champions as well. I mean, we just pulled Brogni. My Brogni is still sitting at, well, he's at 6-star. He hasn't been leveled up yet. I don't have his masteries done yet. So he's just chilling out down here. I got a few 6-stars I need to work on. Got Tyrant during the last event. I need to work on him. I got a lot of champions in this backlog that I need to get brought up. But with all these tournaments and events and the clan versus clan, I felt like my time to actually invest in champions is specified. Like, hey, I can't feed my incubuses just yet because I need to save these incubuses for the clan versus clan tournament. I can't book my champion just yet because I need to save it for the clan versus clan tournament. Now, when the clan versus clan comes around, I help my clan get more rewards. So, I mean, it's a push and a pull. So it has its pros and it has its cons. But I want to see to you guys, what do you find more? Is it more of a pro or is it more of a con? So you got my opinion overall. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Let me know how you feel down in the comment section below. Also, do you plan to go for this new Fusion champion? Do you think he's going to be worth it? Besides the fact that he looks sick, looks very, very cool, I plan on going for him, but are you going to go for him? Let's look at the affinity of him. So his affinity is right here. Dark Elves, legendary, attack type, kind of figured that, and a spirit affinity champion. So we're getting more spirit affinity. Well, I guess Iron Brago was the last spirit affinity, so I'll take that back. They actually seem to be rotating. We have Yoshi, then we have Brogni, And now we have this new guy who's Spirit. So, and before Yoshi, I think was Iron Brago maybe. But anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.